Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco Dish Out on Movies, the only movie review show on YouTube to review movies in terms of food. And it is just Marco here once again to review a new KFC meal, and that is the KFC Supergirl tie-in movie meal. And I was not really planning on getting this, but I decided I was just kind of in the mood for chicken, and I was either going to get this or Buffalo Wild Wings, and I decided to take a chance on this. And right off the bat, I was ordering this, and I thought, like, is this meal meant for adults or kids? Because to me, I think that if you put all the pieces together, there is a clear kids-oriented POV of this meal. Or not POV, but like that's who they're aiming this meal towards. They want kids to get this meal because they have the kids' toy, and then the drink is kind of like a kiddie type of drink. And then I think that the biggest tell is the fact that no matter what tenders meal that you get, you can either get the ultimate Supergirl tenders meal or the regular tenders meal. And regardless, you only get 3 tenders. And then they also have the same meal but with nuggets, and with the nuggets I think it's like 8 to 10. Regardless, it's a very small portion size for the tenders and the nuggets. I found myself kind of challenged and thinking, like, should I get other chicken? Should I get another side? Because this just doesn't seem like it would be very satisfying unless I was like a 10-year-old or like a 10-year-old girl, more specifically. And so I ended up getting the ultimate Supergirl tenders meal. And along with that, I think I got a drumstick and some mac and cheese. I didn't end up eating the mac and cheese, and I gave it to Safi to have for today. But she loves KFC. She could go to KFC every week. In fact, she used to go to KFC every week when she was sick, and her medicine made her not be able to taste anything, but she really loved KFC regardless. So anyways, what you get with this meal, first you get this Kooler drink. And I guess this is the first time that I've ever had Starry soda. Soda? Did I say Stoda? I think I just said soda, but this is the first time I've ever had Starry. Apparently, it's like Starry soda with blue raspberry syrup, and then there are these strawberry boba balls at the bottom. Because when I first got it, I got this huge straw, and I was like, why the hell did I get this huge straw? And it was so funny getting that straw through the hole. I mean, it was so hilarious. I just had to make a YouTube short about it. It was so ridiculous. I mean, you had to force it in there. You had to force the thing in there, and it was laughable. And then I discovered, it's because of the boba. So that's the other thing that kind of confuses me, though, is that as far as I know, not a lot of kids like boba. That's like an adult woman thing. Like, a lot of young women love boba. A lot of young adults, I'm a young adult. A lot of us love boba. I'm not like a huge fan. I don't really get the appeal. I've heard they're bad for you too. I've heard that boba balls are bad for you. But they're okay. So that's it's kind of a conflicting messaging there, a conflicting marketing of like, is this supposed to be for kids or adults? I guess it's for both, but it really feels like there's a conflict in there. And like, I genuinely feel this is what's happening with a lot of these superhero movies, a lot of these big franchise movies nowadays, is that they know that adults aren't going to go for these bad movies and these bad shows. And so the only choice they have left is to target the children. And they did the same thing with Star Wars. Oh, all the adults in the world, except for the weirdos, all of the adults in the world think that Star Wars is dead. Feminism killed it. Disney ruined it. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to target children. We're going to make children the primary audience for Star Wars, because we know that we can't get the adults to buy tickets anymore unless they're taking a child to see it, or children. And they're doing the same thing now for Supergirl. With the first Superman movie, they did do a lot of this kind of kiddie marketing with crypto, constantly marketing crypto, but it still kind of felt like it was a movie made for everybody, whereas Supergirl is feeling more like something that is very niche. And, you know, I actually got an IMAX fan screening ticket. This is on June 24th, I believe. And it's funny because nobody else has gotten a ticket for my showing. I'm the only one. There might be like one other person so far. I think that's really, really telling and really embarrassing. So anyways, back to the food. I thought that the drink was okay at first. I've never had Starry before. I don't really like Starry. I don't know if it's true, but I don't know if Starry is just Sierra Mist, because I have had Sierra Mist before, and I do like Sierra Mist, but I prefer Sprite, obviously. But I just felt like the drink was kind of weird. It reminded me a lot of Blue Jolly Ranchers. It had a very syrupy taste. And then as you got down to the bottom, it started losing all of its flavor. And Safi even tried it, and she said it tasted like flavored water. So I really think that they kind of dropped the ball there. Literally, they dropped the boba balls. I also kind of think that they were ripping off McDonald's, because McDonald's, they recently came out with something called a Sprite Berry Blast. And it's a Sprite with blue raspberry flavor in it. And then it might have like cream at the top or something. But I think that this is KFC ripping off McDonald's. Just blatantly ripping it off. And to be honest, I would not get the Kooler drink again. If I would get a drink from KFC, it really sucks, because I used to go to KFC a lot, but I stopped going because KFC got rid of the root beer. I don't know what the deal is, because like, I love root beer. A lot of restaurants, a lot of fast food places have a root beer option. And now KFC is one of the few who don't, which really sucks. But if I were to get a drink from KFC, I would just get the KFC Mountain Dew Sweet Lightning. I mean, nothing can really beat that. You know, like, that is a very fun flavor. I've had it so many times. There's so many times where I was like, you know what? I'll get the Sweet Lightning. Even though I'm not really... I'm trying not to drink a lot of soda, you know, especially when I get food out and when it's not a holiday or something. But a lot of the times I buckle and I get a Sweet Lightning because it's so good. So now on to the food. My tenders were not very good. I've had tenders a couple of times before, and they've been consistently mediocre. For the whole time that I've had them, I have always had a problem with the temperature of the tenders. They are never hot. They are never, like, they never feel freshly made. And sometimes the breading is pretty hard on the outside. Like, there are pieces that are pretty rough to chew on. And then the tenders themselves, they were kind of overcooked. They were kind of dried out. They were not great. The thing that was great, though, and by the way, it was so unsatisfying to only have 3 tenders, and then you're in the middle of eating your meal, you're enjoying these sauces, and all of a sudden you're out of tenders, and you're like, wait a second, I just started eating. Like, oh no. Oh, wait a second, they only gave me 3. I don't know why. I think that's such a ripoff. You're paying over $12, and KFC is so overpriced. That's another thing about KFC. You're paying $12 for 3 tenders, 3 measly tenders. Like, at least give me 5. 5 tenders would be so much better than 3. Even when you can go to McDonald's, I want to look something up, because McDonald's, even though they're an evil corporation, they have some good deals sometimes. Okay. McDonald's McCrispy strips. Let's see. They are in 3-piece and 4-piece sizes, so you can either get 3 or 4. So they have an option to get 4. I thought that they had an 8-piece option. I could have sworn. Let me check again. They're not great, the McCrispy strips. I want to check one more time. Okay. Here we are. McCrispy strips. Okay, 4-piece. 3 or 4-piece. But see, that's the thing that I at least like about McDonald's, is that you can choose. You can choose to get a 4-piece tender meal. You're not forced to only have 3 if you want to get the McCrispy strips. Now, I know what you're saying, like, you could add on a couple of tenders. Well, I was going to do that, but it brought the bill to around like $18. I mean, $18 to have a decent portion meal. Again, it's just a ripoff. So now let's talk about the sauces, which I thought was the best part of the whole meal. Now, I think that having this variety of sauces is such a great idea. And it was very satisfying because I actually went to KFC the other week and I got this deal that they have where you could get a side of fried pickles, which are a limited time, and you could get a couple of nuggets. And guess what, guys? Even though I ordered sauce with the nuggets, they did not give me my sauce. So in getting this Supergirl meal, they were forced to give me the sauce, all the sauce that I wanted, all the sauce that I needed. And now here's the thing. First you have Lobo's Wild Ranch. I would say that one was my least favorite. I mean, it was really just ranch with some spice added into it. I don't really know, but it's not the greatest ranch sauce that I've ever had. I mean, if you guys want to have a really good ranch sauce, I would recommend going to Domino's. They have this thing called the slice sauce. It is like the greatest sauce I've ever had. That's what she said. And but But the Wild Ranch, I would give it like a B. So the sauces were all really good, and I really loved the idea. It made it so much fun to, dip the tenders into the different sauces and mix and match and, and have to choose. I thought that was so much fun. And you also get a biscuit. Of course, you always get a biscuit at KFC. I was dipping the biscuit in some of the sauces. I thought that was fun. And then you have Supergirl's Solar sauce or Solar honey mustard sauce. It is really just honey mustard, but I thought it was really good. I thought that was the best one, so I would give it an A+. And then also you had Ruth Eyes. I don't know who she is, the little girl character from Supergirl. You get to have some of her sauce, and her sauce is like sweet chili, like an Asian style sauce, because I think that the actress is Asian. I mean, I'm not kidding. Or I don't know, but I think that's why. I thought that sauce was like the second best, so I would give it an A. It was kind of sweet, but it was also really, really spicy. And it was really, really good. I mean, all three sauces I thought were really, really good. But yeah, it was ultimately a huge disappointment because, I'm not going to pretend that because I'm a bigger guy. I like bigger portions sometimes. But I'm not going to pretend like I need like some sort of like a huge portion to feel satisfied. But I just feel like to get a Supergirl meal and you're only getting 3 tenders, it's such a ripoff. It's such a ripoff, okay? And then, of course, you get a serving of fries. I think it's just a regular serving. It might have been a large. I'm not sure. The fries were actually hot, so I was thankful for that. They were really good. I enjoyed those. And then I actually got a toy. I got the Supergirl toy. I was lucky enough. I mean, I would say that would be lucky because that toy is like the centerpiece toy. You can either get Supergirl in her super suit, or you can get her with the trench coat on, because she's a part of the trench coat mafia, and or you can get the other characters who nobody cares about. So I was lucky enough to get Supergirl on my first try, which I'm fine with. I mean, I'm not going to get this meal again. I wouldn't recommend you guys get it either because, again, I just felt after eating it, like, hey, I could go to Buffalo Wild Wings and I could get 10 wings, 2 different sauces, and a big scoop of fries, all for like $10 to $13. And to me, that's such a better... And I think you get a drink with that too. It's like a lunch combo. And to me, I think that's such a better deal. It's so much more value than what this KFC Supergirl meal was. And so I think that this meal was a failure. It was clearly KFC trying to emulate McDonald's. And the toy itself, I mean, yeah, it's really it's not the greatest toy. It looks very silly. It doesn't really look like the actress at all who's playing Supergirl. She doesn't even have any boobs either. They wouldn't even give her any boobs. That's weird. It's just a stupid little toy. Like, what the hell am I going to do with this toy? Like, shove it up my rear end? Like, what am I going to do with this toy? But yeah. So anyways, I guess it's a collectible. That's the new thing nowadays, is that, like, yeah, we know that this toy is a piece of shit, but don't you want to collect things? Don't you want to collect all 5 of the Supergirl toys? No, thank you. Like, that's... Even if I was a child, like, when I was a child, I still have a lot of these toys because I want to pass them down to my kids, or just because I think they're fun to keep. I don't know, but when Shark Boy and Lava Girl came out, or when a lot of these movies came out, they would have these really, really good toys to get with McDonald's Happy Meals. Nowadays, the toys suck. They suck balls. But I would just get the one toy. I would get a Happy Meal. I would get one toy, maybe another Happy Meal sometime. But I would just get the one toy, and I would put it on my shelf, and I would forget about it. Like, there was never any urge to, like, oh, I gotta collect all the different Shark Boy and Lava Girl toys. Like, it never really got there. So overall, I would give the KFC Supergirl a C. Just a straight up C. I think that the sauces are the best part, but the price of the food, along with what you get, is just not good enough to warrant getting this meal ever again. So anyways, that is my review. Please like this video and comment and tell me if you've gotten this meal and what you thought of it. And then please subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more honest reviews. And lastly, if you would like to see a ton of awesome exclusive content, exclusive reviews, full unedited spoiler reviews, please head on over to our Patreon page and join, sign up. We would love to have you. So goodbye, everybody. See you soon.